Today's vocabulary topic is shopping and customer service. So we'll look at some positive things to say about the service that you get at some places and some negative things to say and some problems. And in the middle here you've got some phrasal verbs. So let's get started. Firstly, you could have a prompt delivery, which means a very fast delivery, that's all. You usually get a prompt delivery if there has been immediate dispatch. Immediate dispatch just means that when, say you buy something on eBay, I very often do, if they dispatch it immediately, then they send the good to you, whatever it is, they send the product to you immediately. So immediate dispatch and prompt delivery, they're kind of connected really. You get prompt delivery when you get immediate dispatch. If a company is responsive to complaints, this is very good. Then it's good because they get back to you. They respond to your queries. They respond to your calls. And that's what you want when you want to complain. You want somebody to respond and to tell you what's going to happen as a result of your complaint. Now, if the staff are very obliging, it means they're very helpful. They want to help you. They're ready and willing to help. Okay, it means that the service is impeccable. Impeccable is a word which is related to perfection. And so if something is impeccable, it's perfect. They had impeccable service. You couldn't even say a single thing bad about it. Okay, if they take complaints seriously, they're probably responsive to complaints. They're taking complaints seriously. Now, when you buy something expensive, you very often want a warranty or a guarantee. You can see both these words being used. Now, a 2-year warranty means that for the next 2 years after you buy the product, you can send it back and get some kind of guarantee that they'll fix it or send you a different product. So you very often want that for laptops or some expensive electronic products. Now, if they're not able to replace the product, they may give you a full refund. But of course, you'll have to have proof of purchase, and we call that proof of purchase a receipt. This is what you get from a shop to prove that you bought a certain product or service at a certain time. So you'll need your receipt if you want a full refund. Now, another thing which I suppose is positive is if it all meets health and safety requirements, and so I put that down here because maybe some products don't meet health and safety requirements, which would of course be negative. And if all of these things occur, then you are a satisfied customer. A very natural collocation there. Now, some ways to complain about shopping or customer service. You might say that the place had a sterile or impersonal atmosphere. They're quite similar, these words. Sterile I would usually use for a place like the hospital, which is literally sterile. It's very, very clean, but it doesn't feel very cozy. In the hospital, it feels quite sterile, quite impersonal. We talk about substandard service as opposed to impeccable service. You can talk about substandard service. You can also say shoddy service. You can also say poor service if you want. But yeah, it's obviously service which isn't up to standard. It's not up to scratch. There's a very good idiom that we often say, up to scratch, if something isn't as good as it should be. It's not up to scratch. It's not up to the level it should be at. Okay, we talk about shoddy work or shoddy products. This means poor quality work or poor quality products. You could also talk about the staff themselves and say that the staff were incompetent. Incompetent simply means that they were unable to carry out their job, to carry out their responsibilities to you as a customer. You may say that they were uncooperative, the shop assistants, and remember, this is the word we usually use for people who work in a shop. If the shop assistants are uncooperative, then they're not helpful, they're not ready and willing to help. Now, some problems you could have with the products, if it's an article of clothing, you might say that it came with a stain, which is a dirty mark somewhere. It's any kind of dirty mark, very often on the clothes though, so if somebody spills wine on your shirt, you will have a stain there. Maybe the clothes are ripped or torn in a certain place. And these words are synonyms, by the way, ripped and torn. The infinitive is tear. Yeah, you might see tear here. Tear, tore, torn. not to be confused with tear, which is a different pronunciation but the same spelling. Okay, another problem would be maybe the product is scratched, which just means that it's got some kind of scratch mark on it. Okay, maybe something is missing from the product, maybe something is missing from the box, or maybe your problem is that somebody didn't respond to your query, so they weren't responsive to your complaint and they didn't get back to you, which brings us on to phrasal verbs. Get back to someone means just respond to someone. Think about callback, which is similar but a little bit different because callback is very specific. It's about using the phone to get back to someone, but you could get back to someone without a phone, and so I don't think it just means respond, get back to. It doesn't mean respond by phone, so that's the difference between those two words. If you call to make a complaint, maybe the person puts you through to another department. You maybe find it difficult to get through to the person you want to speak to as well, and this would obviously be a bad form of customer service. They may put you on hold for a very long time listening to some kind of music. They very often do. I'm terrible, by the way, if I call customer service. I find it too easy to get angry in these situations, to control my temper. Okay, you may just hang up, which is what I usually do after getting angry for a couple of minutes. I realise it's not worth it. And you might want to complain. To kick up a fuss or to make a fuss just means to complain. And by the way, we have a lot of words which mean complain in English. We have moan, groan, grumble. All of these, whine, whinge, all of these are related to complaining. Some are more like a baby. A baby whines, and it's kind of like, meh, it's that related to that sound. But moaning and groaning, I think, can sound quite childish as well. But these all kind of related to complaining in some kind of way. Okay, some more phrasal verbs. Shop around means go around from shop to shop to find the best price. It means you're looking for a bargain, which is a good word for shopping as well. Make sure you know this word. Bargains are things which have a discount, things which have a very good price because they have a discount. So it's another word which I ought to have put in a lesson on shopping. So you shop around to find the best bargains, the products with the best discounts. Two more phrasal verbs, fork out on and splash out on. They both mean spend a lot of money. However, this one's negative and this one's positive. What I mean is, you say, I had to fork out on a new, could be anything, I had to fork out on a new, perhaps a new motorbike. Maybe you need to get to work. But when you say fork out on, it means you didn't really want to spend that much money. When you say splash out on, it means that you did it with pleasure in some kind of way. So fork out on is with displeasure, splash out on is with pleasure, but they both mean spend a lot of money. So if you splash out on a new car, it means you're pleased about it. Yeah, I splashed out on a new car, isn't it great? But if you forked out on a new car for maybe for your son or something like that, it means you spent more money than you wanted to. And you're not so happy about it. It was a large amount of money. Okay, if you stock up on a product, it means you're worried that maybe it won't be for sale in the future, and so you stock up on it. You get as many, maybe you think that there's not going to be any toilet paper in the supermarket next month, so you stock up on toilet paper. You buy as much as you can. Okay, lastly, if the shop assistant is a very dishonest person, they may try to rip you off or mug you off, which means cheat you. Maybe it means not give you enough change, or maybe it means do something clever, do something crafty to make sure that you pay more than you should. So they rip you off, they mug you off. We even say this nowadays if it's just a very expensive price. So if you pay £20 for something which everywhere else is £10, you might say, they ripped me off. They charged me £20 when every other shop it's only £10. Okay, if you have any questions about any of these words, please ask under the video. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you all soon.